Hey guys, hope you're well. This is Coach Bricks. Listen, I want to expand on the compensational patterns of the human body. If you're getting trained by somebody, they don't understand the human body, which a lot of people who just get into training just get into it because they like to work out or they played a sport in college. They don't really understand the human body. And even a lot of trainers, even going through courses, don't always understand the human body. Okay. That's why I developed the Earth Strong program. If you don't know about it, reach out. I will explain it and break it down to you. But what I'm seeing, I'm getting calls from people who are in college, people who have been to therapy, doctors, and all this kind of stuff, and they can't figure out what is wrong, okay, with these individuals, with these people that are contacting me. And it goes back to what I said long ago. If you don't understand this human body and how it functions, not how always science says it has for the last 100 years, okay, it's deeper than that, then you're missing out. So if you're an athlete that got hurt, or even a human being or anybody, okay, and you've been hurt, compensation takes place immediately. So if I sprain my ankle, something has to compensate for the injured area, for me to get around, for me to move, for me to get from point A to point B. Now I might hobble or crawl, but something else has to overwork. In that time being while you're hurt, the overwork occurs in other muscles, in other areas of the body. Natural. That's the human body. That's how God designed it. Okay. Most people will say, okay, I understand that part. This is where they mess it up. Okay. People go, they get better. They start to feel better, whether it's the ankle. Let's just use that as an example. The ankle starts to feel better. Now I can start moving on it. Now I can walk on it. Now I can jog and run on it. They think they're back. They think that area is back to where it is. Here's the problem. Most times, depending on the severity of it or how long you've been out, certain muscles and certain things start to shut off because other muscles are doing it. Yes, you can still run, you can still do these things, right? Doesn't mean everything's working properly. Prime example is when that happens, okay, with the ankle. A lot of times the glute med on that side shuts off. It just shuts down. It's not actually a very active muscle in the sense of it should be very active, but it's not because of our lifestyle. Now, people aren't going to agree with this, but this is what I observed over the 20, 25 years. Okay. This isn't going to be any science books. This isn't going to be any textbooks. This is what I observed. And not from one person or two, hundreds. And people who continue to call me and reach out and say, hey, I saw you posted this. Could this be it? And then when we get down to it, yes, it is. And they're like, wow, man, I didn't know that's all it is. I've had over the last probably 2 weeks, about 7 people contact me with different injuries, things that they've been struggling with. They've gone to therapy. They've seen their doctor. The doctor says, well, I mean, you might need to look at maybe getting this done, this surgery done. They didn't want to get that way, right? They didn't want to go that route. So they contacted me. We figured out, hey, listen, this isn't turning on. So we manually test certain areas of the body. Okay. And all of a sudden, boom, we're starting to get things back. So now all of a sudden, instead of feeling horrible, okay, my knee's killing me, my ankle's killing me, a hip's killing me. Now all of a sudden, hey man, I'm back 70%. And that was just in one session. I said, all right, do these over the next week and then let's reconnect. And they're back to like 80, 90% as long as they stay on it. But then this is where I tell people, I said, you got to stay on it all the time. My famous talk to everybody is, do you brush your teeth? Every single athlete I've ever said, yes, I brush it every day. But you're not willing to take that injury that you hurt and work on it every day. Now, I'm not saying you got to work on it for an hour. I'm saying you got to have a routine designed to get you back and make sure that that maintains where it is and continues to get stronger every single time. Because if I just get it back to where it was, which most people try to do, okay, a lot of people fail. They don't even get it back that far. You still leave yourself open to another injury because there's a reason why it broke down. And that's what you have to look at. Previous injuries before, and it sometimes can go back 30, 40, 50 years. I had a lady earlier, had a back issue. I'm sorry, an ankle issue. She'd hurt her back, right? When she was a teenager. Boom. Ankle was all jacked up. We fixed her ankle because we fixed the back. Had another gentleman who broke his leg when he was 8 years old. Had all kind of back issues, all kind of stuff. Crazy, crazy. Back then, they really weren't doing therapy. Back in the, I think it was late 70s, early 80s. Any kind of technique like that. He had developed all these compensational patterns and jacked his whole body up. I mean, his whole body was riddled with problems. It took a long time to get it back. But this is the thing I'm trying to avoid. There's no reason I'm seeing so many people, and there's no reason so many people are sitting out with chronic pain, athletes hurting themselves. I talked about this. Why is Pulisic always hurt? He's hurt constantly. There's an issue going on that nobody's diving deep into. It's not that he's injury prone. I don't agree with that at all. And I don't think he's some genetic condition that makes him hurt all the time either. There's something going on. Conor McGregor blew out his ACL or broke his leg a while ago. Now all of a sudden goes in and tries to kick, hurts his ACL or whatever, his knee issue. I don't know if it's an ACL, but something to that effect. Why? We just blame it on that one move. Oh, don't do that dumb move. That's not it. There's something else going on in the human body. Until we get to the cause, you're never going to be safe from all these injuries. Now, I'm not saying even if you do everything, you're going to be safe, but you limit the chances of all these injuries. If you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. A lot of people don't, and they suffer the consequences. Am I saying I'm some genius? No. This is what I observed, and this is what I'm doing. And these people are getting back, not having issues, because we're targeting areas that have not been working. The glute med is one. The TFL is another one. These are all areas because of our sedentary lifestyle. These muscles are shutting off because they're not figuring out, hey, I don't need to work that hard. You go to a farmer, they're not shutting off. Why? They're constantly in motion. But for the majority of people, they're shutting off. How do I know this personally? Because it happened to me. Yes, it happened to me. I had to figure these things out myself. What is going on? Why am my body breaking? I do all the lists that everybody says. Just get stronger, just get stronger. And this is where trainers, I have problems with trainers, especially guys that have zero knowledge of the human body. They look up YouTube, they look on the internet, and that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not saying because you have a certification means anything either, because a lot of those are jokes too. But you have to dive deeper into the human body makeup, the way our Lord and Savior designed us, all right? That's the way you have to look at it. It's different than what science always says. The science plays some role in it, 100%, but it's not the end all be all that everybody tries to say it is. Just do some squats, just do some deadlifts. If you do that, you'll be the man. That's all I hear. And I'm like, no, that's not it either. Okay? There's reasons why you have to do certain things because the human body is not functionally moving properly in today's society. It's not what it was 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago. Same thing with testosterone in men. We had a conversation about that. Why is it so much lower? Well, if I did the same exact thing that I did 40 years ago, I'm probably not going to get better. I have to figure out why. And I can go into that. That's a whole other topic that I can get into, why we're having these issues. But this is a problem, and this is what I'm very passionate about. Stop going to people that have zero understanding of the body. It irritates me to no end because then these people just get hurt, and you're like, boom. And it might not even be when they're playing. It might be at the end of the season, or they're all banged up, and then they're not knowing. And then all of a sudden they get older, and then we call it age. Well, I don't know what the hell that means. That's not how the body works. Just because you get older doesn't mean it's supposed to break. That's a fallacy that has been perpetrated through mankind, through doctors, whoever decided to say that you're supposed to feel this way, to make you not accountable for your actions. Your actions are what causes you to hurt. Whether it was young or whether you meant to do it or not, and you had an injury, that caused the problem later on if you didn't fix it. And a lot of people say, well, I went to therapy. Are you still doing the stuff to continue to get you better and improve? If you're not, then you're not doing it. I can't understand why parents are so far out of shape in this country. I'm not saying you have to be in shape to go run sprints every single day. Should be able to run them a couple times a week. But why are we so far out of shape? Oh, I have kids and I have all that. What does that have to do with it? Do you want to be there for your kids? Do you want to participate? Do you actually want to have a life that you can actually enjoy them? That's what you got to ask yourself. Not if you're all broken, you have to go to the doctors. This is not the kind of thing we need to do. And like I said, it happened to me. I had to figure it out because I was not going to go through the surgery route. I was not going to take pills at all. I hate them. And I wanted to be there and play with my kids. That was my goal. So I fixed it. I figured it out. I had to dive way back, years upon years, to figure out what caused it. And then I attacked the cause, fixed the problem, and 6 to 8 months later, boom, I was feeling great. And then that has helped springboard me to help other people figure these things out. So if you're a person out there struggling with pain, there's no reason to. Unless I came up to you or somebody came up to you and hit with an axe or a bat or a sledgehammer or something and busted you all up, if you're just having pain for no reason, there's a reason. You just have not thought back deep enough to figure out what's not working. Like I said, the two muscles that I'm finding out right now are the glute med and the TFL that are just broken. And I even have athletes, high-level athletes, that are struggling with these areas. I mean, like I said, I get calls from people that are struggling in college, and they're going to their therapist. They're going, and they're perplexed. These guys are perplexed. I had a guy, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, had a busted up ankle. They told him, hey, listen, you're not going to play any this season. It's pretty bad. 2 weeks later, he's back playing. They were shocked. totally shocked. But we went and attacked the cause of why the ankle was all jacked up, worked the ankle, but then figured out what the cause was. Since that time, he continues to do it. Guess what he doesn't have problems with? His ankle. Amazing. And if he does start to creep up, he knows, you know what? Took those 2 days off, didn't hit it. Boom. Then he knows. It's amazing. The human body is the most amazing thing, and we don't think of it correctly. And that's why I did the whole Earth Strong program. Because it's to dive deeper into how to understand how to heal, how to get yourself right. Not just physically. Physically is part of it, but the mental aspect of it, diving into the spiritual. The spiritual is the whole thing, and the mental comes off of that, and then the physical. I deal with people who have strokes, and they say, I'll never move my left arm or whatever side the same again. I said, that's a bogus thing that you keep telling yourself, and you're right. You will not, because you already told yourself that. You have to focus harder. So they focus harder. Guess what starts to happen? They start to get things back. Slowly, but they get things back. I want to dive deeper into this thing, and I want to talk more about it, but I want people to understand there is hope. You don't have to live with this chronic pain. You don't have to go through surgery all the time. There's some cases that you might have to. I'm not going to lie to you. You might have to. You don't have to take all these pills. Okay? There's ways you can do it. Is it easy? No. I told you 6 to 8 months, I was in still pain. So I started to figure things out where I started to get some relief for 30 minutes, then an hour, then 5 hours, then a day, then 2 days, then a week, then a month. Boom, till it finally started to click that everything started to work normal. And if something gets off, I know how to go tack it. So I'm never in pain for a long period of time. That's how everybody should be. Reach out, questions. But I'm telling you, we can beat this. But you have to think differently. You can't think the way everybody has told you to think, because it will never, never work. You have to think differently, because that's what I had to do. I had to think way outside the box, that there was no box that I was confined in because everybody told me to. So I got out here. Okay? Reach out. Coach Bricks, all right? Let me know. All right, David, exsp.biz. Let me help you. Have yourself a blessed day. God bless you, and take care.